Hi, this is Scott Huddleston from This and That. Today I'd like to talk to you about many different things, actually. One of them is the pure folly of Donald Trump, or as I like to call him, just Trump or Trumpy. What he's done to the economic system in the United States is a catastrophe. The U.S. dollar has fallen so much against the euro, it's not even funny. But what he's done with the tariffs to the other countries is just a joke. It's just a game. I don't know if it's a chess game for him or what it is, but he charged these huge tariffs against China, and of course all the United States and most of the world depend on Chinese products like televisions and radios and stuff like that. They got a lot of kickback from the citizens of the United States, and good old Trumpy decided, oh, gee, maybe I should lower the tariffs a little bit because, otherwise maybe I won't get reelected. Or I'm not sure why he made that decision, but he did in fact lower the tariffs. So now that the Chinese can actually start importing stuff again. But I actually lived in Alexandria, Virginia when Trump was first president. I went over to visit Washington, D.C. one day just because I wanted to see the Capitol again. When I walked past the White House, I saw these huge walls, probably, 6-8 feet high walls, probably just because Donnie thought that all the people in the United States must love him, so I'll just make sure that I protect myself from all that love. I'm not sure why he did it, but that's probably why. But, then I walked down the street from the White House to a park, which was a children's park. It was supposed to be where children played, but it was filled with garbage. But worse than that, it was filled with 3,000 or so rats. That's how much Trumpy baby cares about his own city where he lives. That's how much he cares about the American people also. All he wants to do is be popular. He just wants to be popular. He'll do anything he can to be popular, including lowering the tariffs. If it was up to him, he would have kept the tariffs up at 150% and built an even higher wall to keep the dirty Mexicans out. I'm saying dirty with quotes around it because they're not. They're just other people like we are. But in any case, Trump is also a bigot. And he also said some things about his own daughter that I can't believe. What a lowlife he is. He was standing with politicians that he was trying to be a big man in front of, and said, and the daughter was there at the time, he said, if she wasn't my daughter, I would do her. I mean, what kind of a lowlife says something like that? And Trump is doing nothing but lying to everyone just to be popular. There's only one president that I know of that's been honest, and I lived in the United States at that time, and that was Jimmy Carter. But Jimmy Carter took a lot of, I wanted to say the S word, but I'll say crap, because he was honest about one statement he made. It was the one very simple statement that when he said, I lust after women in my mind. If any male in the world would say the opposite, I wouldn't believe them. It's a natural thing. It's a biological thing. Just like women probably lust after men in their own minds. But he was at least honest enough to say it. Who was honest in the presidency since Trump? Who? Maybe Obama a little bit. He was better. Certainly wasn't. It wasn't Clinton, and it definitely is not Trump. I'm not kidding. It's just ridiculous how much he's done. He even said, as I said many times, if I walked down Madison Avenue, I could kill someone, and no one could do anything about it. All I know is when I was in San Francisco, which I used to think was the most beautiful city in the world, it's now filled with homeless people. And when I left San Francisco many years ago, I lived in San Francisco, but I also lived in Palo Alto. But in San Francisco, when I lived there, Gavin Newsom was the mayor at the time. Well, he's still mayor, I heard the other day. So he's got the same playbook as Putin. He probably changed the rules just like Putin did to stay in power. How the hell can somebody be mayor for that long if they're not taking money from someone or giving money to someone? The whole damn political system is dirty. It's all about payoffs. It's about the damn lobbies that make politicians do things they wouldn't normally do. The lobbies get money from the companies. The lobbies give the money to the politicians. They put it in their pockets so they can have a little bit more cash in their pockets. And then the politicians vote for the things that the lobbyists want. But as I've said many times before, so many countries have huge military budgets. Budgets so they can kill other people and start more wars. What happens if we take that money that goes towards war and reinvest it in something like fusion reactors? Fusion reactors' output is hydrogen. Well, there happens to be I think if I remember correctly, there's probably a place where you can use hydrogen. I'm trying to think of it. I know you can put them in dirigibles. Wait, I remember now. It's hydrogen fuel cells. Gee, wait a minute. What if we took money and put it into fusion reaction, which would create, all that hydrogen, and then you could actually put it into hydrogen fuel cells, and maybe you could actually take some of that money from the war budget and make those better, so that maybe you could actually use them. You can already use them in cars, but just imagine if you could use them in airplanes and trains. The output out of the tailpipe which would be the same for the planes, out of a tailpipe of a hydrogen fuel cell car is, if you haven't guessed it already, pure H2O, more commonly known as water. Well, why don't we put more money into that then? I just don't understand the world anymore. Anyway, I did start off wanting to start this video by talking about my bank, because I've been using this bank ever since I moved to Sweden, excuse me. The Swiss banks weren't much better, but the bank that I have now is totally effed up my life. I've got 2 cards here, as you can see on the screen. I've got those cards now. They're working in my phone, but they're not working on my computer. Hello? What's wrong with the banking system? I worked for the banking industry for 9 years, and they didn't have those kind of problems then. We used SWIFT payments that worked perfectly. In fact, I even developed SWIFT software, and that worked. But now, the whole thing with international payments, I tried to get my payment from the United States, and it didn't come, and it didn't come. So I went to the U.S. Embassy in Stockholm. I live in Sweden. I went to the U.S. Embassy in Stockholm, and they said, that's because you didn't give us the paper that said you were still alive. No one ever sent me anything about being alive, that I have to send any forms out. I couldn't believe it when they said that. But they said they couldn't do it. They couldn't give me the form. I had to go over to the Swedish, it's called the Skatteverket, which is the tax agency. I had to stand in line for I don't know how long, until I finally got this one paper that the U.S. needed to say that I was actually alive. Well, I did actually send it to the United States, and I did, after, 3 or 4 weeks, get my payment from the U.S. But the point is, this whole thing is broken. People are lining their pockets with the money that should be going into research, and should be going into helping poor people, helping people get off the damn streets. There are so many songs that are about getting people off the streets and helping people, but are people doing anything about it? Hell no. Are they putting money into research on fusion reactors and hydrogen fuel cell cars? No. It's going into the war machine. It's only going into the war machine. Who's responsible for that? It's our good old Kim Jong-il, or whatever his name is, from North Korea, from good old Vladdy in Russia, and good old Donnie from, what country is he in? I forgot now. Oh, I think he's in the USA. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, because I did see him when I was first there in Washington. That's true. It is true. Yep. Yeah, that's true. I remember that other time I was in Washington. This is a side point. When I was standing on the side of the road, I actually saw George W. Bush, who was also a really unbelievably stupid person. I'm sorry. His father paid for him to go to Harvard. The guy didn't have a brain. But I saw him driving by in this limousine, and he was like looking out the window like this. All I can say is, I hate politics. All they care about is lining their own pockets. From the lobbies. Wait a minute, where's the money from the lobbies come? Oh, yeah, that's right. The companies that want to get things done. Like, for example, I think the gas companies, I think they donate a lot to the lobbyists. And, maybe that's why Trump voted against the guys that wanted to stop fossil fuels, because he was getting money from the gas companies. That makes perfect sense now that I think about it. Yeah, that's probably why he voted that way. It's probably, it's happened with other presidents also. I know they're heavily influenced by the lobbyists. There's no question about that. But anyway, I've said my piece now, and I hope the banking system works better in the future. Right now it sucks. As I said before, I worked in the banking industry and it worked a lot better back then. Also, when I was in the States, before Trumpy boy, I actually left the first time I left the States when he first became president, that's right. But before that, I lived through the times of Jimmy Carter and Obama. And they were both one hell of a lot more honest. No, they had some honesty in them, let's put it that way. They had some honesty. No, Jimmy Carter was perfectly honest. Maybe Obama wasn't fully honest. But the point is, it's gone downhill. It's gone totally downhill. Every presidency after that has gone downhill. So all I can say is that something has to happen in the United States and other countries. But as a side point, the only country in the world that puts fluoride in the water is the good old US of A. Well, wait a minute, though. I happen to know that, wait a minute, fluoride's a poison. It kills brain cells. It kills lots of cells in the body. Oh, wait a minute, that makes sense now. No, it wasn't Trump. There was other president that started putting fluoride in the water, but he hasn't gotten rid of it. So why? Why could that be then? Oh, wait a minute. It kills brain cells. That makes sense. The people get dumbed down enough from the brain cells dying to actually believe what these politicians are saying. That must be why they did that then. Probably. All I can say is the U.S. was founded on very good principles. In fact, the original Electoral College in the U.S. was only created to help the people that were illiterate. There were many people at that time when the U.S. was founded that were illiterate, so they created the Electoral College that would actually listen to the people what they wanted when it came to the elections. They actually did. So these people that were illiterate counted on the Electoral College to vote for the candidate that they all wanted. Now the Electoral College is bought off by all the lobbyists or whatever else. It was obvious when who was it with Al Gore, when he lost that election. He won the popular election. But the Electoral College went against him. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, it could be they were paid off by the lobbies. Maybe that's why. All I can say is the Electoral College doesn't have any purpose anymore. Everyone's literate now. The only purpose it was created was to help the people that were illiterate. So why is it still in power? Why does it still exist in the U.S.? It doesn't make any sense. But I still remember, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I mean, I have to laugh. Justice for all in the United States? Are you kidding me? With all the killings that are going on, with all the homelessness, it's ridiculous to even think about those words. And how can you pledge allegiance to a country like that? It's impossible. It's really impossible to pledge allegiance to a country that is running with a lobby-paid electoral college. It's only about a war machine instead of actually investing in things that could help the world, let alone the United States, and help those poor homeless people that are dying on the streets right now, instead of putting it into the war machine. Hello? Wake up and smell the roses. Wake up and smell the roses. Please. Talk to your friends and family. Talk to your friends, but especially talk to your congressmen and your senators, and try to get them to stop this war idea that the United States seems to have, let alone the other countries. But thank you for watching, and if you want to see this video, it's going to be on my channel called This and That with my name, Scott Huddleston. Thank you for watching, and I hope it's going for you better than what I've experienced. But in any case, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.